Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Ladies Night. We have a very special show for you guys tonight. We have some special guests. We have Laura and Alyce from Force Toast, as well as Schmoedown. I'm just so excited to have you ladies on here. We are going to watch a classic Star Wars match that you all voted for. So it's going to be Sam versus Ken, and I'm excited. Are you guys excited?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having us. This is great.
All right, awesome. So before we get it started, just ask you a couple questions. How did you guys get into Schmoedown?
I think it probably started with me. I think I dragged out to it because I got into it because I was a Star Wars Rebels fan, and still am a diehard Star Wars Rebels fan, and I was really excited at the prospect of getting to see Sam Witwer, Freddie Prinze Jr. Teaming up and going at it on the Schmoedown. And it seems like those were like some of the first Star Wars matches, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what really drew me into it and into the whole phenomenon, was getting to see them, getting to see Star Wars Rebels people in person and hearing their voices. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. That's dangerous and Maul. So yeah, it just kind of somersaulted from there. Alyce and I also met doing Star Wars trivia around Chicago. And then, yeah, it just sort of all came together from there.
Awesome. Yep. That was actually my first Star Wars match I watched for sure was Force Bros. And I was hooked because I always thought I was good at Star Wars trivia until I heard them. And it's like, nope, not even close. And you ladies, hearing you guys play on your podcast, I'm like, I cannot retain that kind of information. It's very impressive.
Oh my gosh. I am so rusty personally. But when Laura and I met, like, I asked her, like, how did you start getting into Star Wars trivia? And she was in a line at Celebration and people were doing the Trivial Pursuit, and her recall ability is just like insane. Like, there's no tomorrow.
Accidentally realized that I was good at it. Like, I mean, at that point I was still a very new Star Wars fan. And so that was in 2017 was my first Star Wars Celebration. So my first experience of waiting in line and getting to spend so much time around other Star Wars fans. And it was just phenomenal and so much fun. But yeah, it was interesting, like sitting around and kind of playing, and you know, you get to know the people that are hanging around you, and you're hanging out in line for hours on end. And so they all knew that I was a fairly new fan, and you know, when we were kind of playing, they were all just like, Jesus, like, how do you do that? Like, if you really just like got into this like 2 years ago, and I was like, like
magic. Yeah, because
it's talent.
Yeah, we were both going around Chicago doing Star Wars trivia unbeknownst to each other, because we did not know each other except for one trivia at like Old Town Social or something. There was a Facebook page and Laura posted, is there going to be extended universe or cartoons or canons? I was like, that bitch is my competition. Fuck her. And I remember sitting at the bar, I'd play by myself, has team literally solo because I had no friends to come with me. Laura was pretty much playing by herself, but she actually had friends who would suck it up and go with her.
They're good sports.
Yeah. Laura had friends who were good sports. And I was like, that bitch is my competition. Fuck her. And yeah, so we had actually crossed paths. And then at the end of the year, we were playing this one match, and we had both met the trivia master separately before. And he was like, you guys need to meet. You guys need to become friends and like yada, yada. I'm just going to say I won. I would not win against her now, but that was my, in Twitter, I say I'm the Star Wars champ of 2017. And I think that's a valid thing to write. But yeah, we met then, we became good friends, and you know, it's almost our 2-year friendiversary.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
That's a real holiday.
So exciting. And then it just all took off from there, really.
That's so cool. All right, let's get this match started, and we can keep chatting while it's going. So, drum roll. Danie pulling up.
I'm doing the tech tonight, y'all. So, woo!
Oh, and just a quick recap. I want to know, what's everyone drinking tonight?
Oh,
I want to
I'm gonna
know
take that off so we can talk about that.
what's everyone drinking. Starting with Alyce. I know you mentioned it earlier.
Yes. Apothic Wineries, or whatever the fuck, does many bottles of their red blends. I drank the red blends earlier, so I just refilled the same bottle with the sparkling red.
Mhm.
Very resourceful. Yep. Those bottles are cute. I like them.
They're pretty.
They're super cute.
All right. Well, I have classic Ladies Night White Claw, even though I sometimes want something else. I feel like I'm obligated now. Because they are an official sponsor, apparently.
White Claw, sponsor us.
You want it to be official sponsor, that would be nice. So
I only just learned what White Claw was like a month ago. I must not be like a real girl. So I've got this is sort of my signature thing. I'm like coming down, and so I've got tea with Fireball in it, which sounds gross, but I promise you it's like amazing, and it literally does not matter what type of tea you use. It's good no matter what.
No, that's
Fireball. Woo, woo.
mm.
Okay, so I'm a bartender. I bartend. I do hair full time. I bartend part time. And I made a drink the other day where it's Fireball, lemonade, and a splash of grenadine. And y'all, that shit is chef's kiss. So,
And you gotta make it for us come LA.
Yeah.
I need to have it. I need to try it. Sounds delicious. Really does.
let's do that.
Was that someone who was 22 years old? That sounds very, very sweet.
I think that sounds awesome as fuck. Are all y'all gonna be in
I love
LA?
lemonade. I love
Yes.
We're actually renting a house and we're all going to stay together for like
Oh my
almost a
God.
week.
Fuck
So come and
yeah.
hang out at Action
Action
House,
House.
please.
Action
It'd be
House.
great.
Yes. Totally.
Yes.
Fun.
You're officially invited.
You are officially invited. Yeah. Ben and Drew are from Action Army. Well, Who's the Boss and the family are coming on Sunday, I think.
Mhm.
That'll be fun.
Perfect.
Yeah. Hopefully we have like a little mini party. We're not supposed to party in an Airbnb, but
It's all good.
We're not actually partying if our Airbnb host sees us. We're not
That's
actually
true. That's
we're
true.
going to sit quietly in a circle and just talk about our day.
That is absolutely right.
Hurrah.
Alrighty, let's do this. Ready?
Mhm.
Everyone in the chat, make sure audio is fine. Let me know so I can make sure we get tech stuff set up just right.
This is 30 minutes to these guys.
I mean, 30
minutes.
minutes. You talk about
Sounds
Iron
good
Man.
to
So
me.
this is one of these Schmoedowns where you're actually going to be involving some sort of athletic skill. You look at Sam Witwer, who's got a lot of storefront muscles.
Holy
Boy, does he
God.
really
So
pack
hot.
into that
Yeah.
shirt. Then you have Ken
So
Knapsack, who may not look
Yeah.
like a hunk, but he has 20 years of security
Now,
guard know-how.
Laura,
Where
going
the
into
handcuffs
this,
or the
when you
lightsabers
watched
be
it for the
coming out
first
today.
time, who
Well,
did
we're
you
about
think
to
was
find
gonna win?
out because, Mark, are you ready to do it?
You're damn
Ken
right I am.
Knapsack so
Ladies
much
and gentlemen, it's
confidence.
time
It's
for
very
the
hard to
movie
guess.
Trivia
That's what it is.
I just
They're
always
ready,
root for
Kristen.
Sam.
30
I just like
minutes.
since I first saw him on there, I'm like
Iron
always
Man
like I want him to come
Star
back
Wars
too. I would
Movie
love for
Trivia
him to just like
Schmoedown Championship of
come back
the
to the
world.
first show.
I just think
Introducing
he's been so busy doing Riverdale that he hasn't had time for
A
anything
challenger
else.
So busy.
with a record.
Being all
I mean,
beautiful
jumping
and
out
all.
windows is hard and takes away from study time.
You know him as Darth Maul. You know him as
Okay.
Starkiller.
Here's the thing with this entrance.
Sam, the
It is so
warrior.
hard to tell. I have watched the entrances for so many Star Wars matches and a couple of intergame films. And when I had to walk out for Laura, I totally fucked it up. I went out way too early. I didn't know what to do. You can see the expression on my face of like, oops, I don't know. There's no one to tell you when to go.
He just has backup.
The good thing
I'm
is that
sure it
nobody
was a learning experience.
Andrew's is so memorable that nobody remembers you or me in that instance, Alice. It doesn't even matter.
I know. No one will remember, hopefully. A. B. In December, it'll be down an aisle. That's much easier. That'll be the closest I ever get to a wedding.
I'm excited for you to really kind of amp us up, like on the stage. Really like talk Laura.
I know I'm going to do leopard print fuzzy coat.
Very nice. Oh yeah, back when the Lion's Den was a thing.
Oh, the Lion's
The
Den.
Lion's Den.
Yeah, Knapsack. He's he's got some presence.
He does. That is very true.
That's one thing we noted about him, like when we saw him being a host, is that he's got like hella confidence and like mad presence. Sam Witwer, on the other hand, it's weird that when he speaks, he like talks in a whisper.
He is very quiet. That is true.
Absolutely.
I would
I'm
love
like-
to let him whisper at me.
I would love to have him whisper in my general direction as well, but like on this, I'm like, stop fucking whispering, just yell, you hooker.
I can't get over his chin. His butt chin situation is so severe. Like
That's
it's
fine.
all up in there. It's like right up there with like Tom Selleck. I love it though.
It's just like make eye contact and just like speak the words. I need like Antonio Banderas channeling out of Sam Witwer.
I
Yeah,
need
I
his voice
Look, go for it.
coming out of his chin in particular.
I never even thought of his chin before. I
His
just, like,
voice is like coming out of a little mouth on the chin.
Right there. Yes.
I just need more vocalization from him. But this is a really interesting style for a match because prepping for the Schmoedown, I went and I watched all the Star Wars matches and wrote them out and like the rules and like what all the deals were for them for Laura. And like I didn't find anything else like this. Are there other Schmoedown matches of this style?
The Iron Man?
Iron Man match?
Yeah.
Not
Not-
usually.
not
Maybe
There's
another one.
very, very few. You can probably, there's less than 5, I think, total. There are, however, exhibition matches. Like,
Yeah.
like there's a Rocky exhibition match. There is the Jurassic Park exhibition match as well, which was really intense. Like, oh my gosh, where did that come from?
Yeah, it's so strange. And why did Sam Witwer lose his belt again? Like, what was the deal behind that?
I think he just got too busy outside, so they're kind of like he gave it up, and so it opened it up to someone else to win it. So I don't think there ever was like an official announcement by him. It was just not coming back.
It was like he couldn't complete his duties,
Yeah.
so the runner-up
All
had
right.
to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Laura, let's hear you like pop these suckers off. Like no pressure. If you don't get like 95% right, come on.
See, that's the thing. I'm like, I've watched all of these too, and I have all the questions and everything written down. And now that I think about it, I actually wonder: do they ever repeat questions in the Star Wars League? Because
They have like twice, maybe.
I know that they have it like Inner Geek because there's like 1 or 2 questions that they ask all the time in Inner Geekdom for Star Wars. But I don't know. Like I have not noticed them.
For Star Wars, I think there have been 2 because I wrote them all down for you. And I remember thinking when something was a repeat. It's very rare.
Oh, that's a good manager right there.
Very good manager.
Yes. We do have a question in the chat from Albert. Laura, did Harloff pick the name Luminous nickname for you? If so, how do you like that nickname?
That's correct. Sam Witwer takes
That's what I always wondered if I'm allowed to even talk about it because like nobody told me that I'm not. So no, I did not pick it. Harloff did pick that name. At first, I wasn't crazy about it. I like didn't it like didn't connect with me for some reason as being like. I don't know. I like the alliteration component of it, but I wasn't too sure about it. But later on, the more I kind of thought about it, I really like that it's sort of Star Warsy, and I feel like it's sort of like it like kind of like puts me into Star Wars like permanently, like for the rest of my life. So I it's grown on me since then. But yeah, at first I was like, Luminous. Okay, huh.
I mean, I thought originally, and I think Laura, you might have thought this too, that he said the luminous and not the luminous. Kelly?
Yeah, I didn't when I saw it spelled, the first time I realized how it was actually spelled was when he sent me the poster of the match, and I was like,
not to destroy Dan's.
I literally was about to respond and be like, is that how we want to spell it? But I didn't. I was like, nope, don't say anything. Just let it go. Let it go. And it's fine. I do like the name a lot. But yeah, I had to kind of stop myself and be like,
There you go.
huh.
I've seen the movies, right? In The Force Awakens.
It was a surprise, but a welcome one.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Well, it's nice that they really like it did a little bit of the work for you in theory. You know,
Yeah.
you didn't have to come to it already having X, Y, and Z planned. Like especially like you didn't really go through you weren't like auditioning with IG or singles or anything, obviously. And so this was like a very new experience. So you wouldn't probably have to go in and knowing everything.
Correct, Ken.
I had to come.
There you go.
I did tell them what song I wanted, and that was really about it. There wasn't a ton of other preparation other than just show up and no answers. And I was like, okay.
The whole thing was just a clusterfuck of confusion, to be honest.
Hopefully they get that little situated for you guys when it comes December. So like,
Well, it wasn't even that. It was just like neither of us had been in a studio scenario before like that. And we just didn't know what it was like to be in front of all of the cameras and all of the lights. And I got pulled in and wasn't expecting to be. And then like we both got pulled in for the entrance and weren't expecting it to be like that, and then just got confused, and it was just like pretty much our minds went blank from the entire thing until we actually watched it on YouTube.
Well, I liked your guys' entry, especially with the two white lightsabers for Ahsoka. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes.
That was a little bit of work on my part. I bought green ones and I had to yank the blades out, and I tried to do so much more complicated than it needed to be. I had a hammer and like a screwdriver, and I was trying to like bang this damn thing apart, and finally I just realized that you just like pull the blade out.
Oh.
It's really easy. You just gotta put like muscle into it. So yeah, that was fun. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
You curl like 30 pounds on each arm, order to like the prep for that sword.
That all times,
like
yes.
G.I. Jane it.
I only put the pounds down when I sat down tonight. So other than
Yeah.
that,
Laura's got like mad arm shape from the yoga.
Nice.
No, yoga strength is real.
It is real.
No joke.
100%. No one believes it. We do have a question in the chat from Malcolm for Alyce. Alyce, will you ever compete in Star Wars?
That is correct.
See, the thing is, Laura and I are a team, and her recall ability is so great. I would never compete against her because I feel like what she does is what I do. Kind of. I live vicariously through her. If I really wanted to and like studied and watched the movies enough, I'd be fine competing. But Laura and I feel like we're kind of one of the same. I know that probably sounds so dumb, but Laura's got me.
I mean, I'm studying like study guides that you made for me, so our knowledge is, in terms of like is really very much on par in that sense of things. But yeah, I mean, if you ever did, you got your coach. I'm here for it.
Yay!
Oh my god, we'd hate each other so hard. Are you kidding me?
It's very obvious.
Me too. I'd like come out and just be like,
No, Laura deserves it so much more. And the thing is, like, so Laura had tweeted at Christian, like, hey, I have a podcast. We do Star Wars trivia. Me and my friend met doing Star Wars trivia. Can we do the celebration match? And Laura actually asked me, she was like, hey, can my friend and I do it like together? Like, because we're a team. Team Jedi Mind Chicks in Chicago. And you know, he's like, oh, you know, no, it's just like one person, blah blah blah. And she's like, oh, like, do you want it? And I thought, are you seriously fucking asking me if I want it? Like, no, girl, you deserve it. Like, you take it. You know, like Laura's like just like recall the way she studies, the way she like works for things. It's so much different than me, and how I like do shit, and like her skill set is very different, and the way she like learns and memorizes is very different than me. And Laura, like, no brainer, should take it, even though I used to win back in the day. Star Wars champion 2017. Oh.
Well, definitely been talking with you guys. I see your skill set as definitely as a manager. I like everything you've been saying, you guys helping each other and everything. That's like, yeah, you definitely got the skills for a manager. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Managing is hard.
Not kidding. Alyce, I want to know some tips and tricks. I just started managing a few competitors in the fan leagues a little bit, not in Star Wars leagues, but a little bit in IG, a little bit in singles and teams. Do you have any kind of helpful tips, you know, for people like me that are just starting to get their feet wet and managing?
Ooh, so this is hard because as far as managing, Laura and I both know a lot already. And we've done bar trivia both separately and together after we met. Of course, we did bar trivia together. So we've seen a lot of the same questions over and over. So it's kind of like we know the weird fucking things to look for. And I would just watch the movies. I would live tweet them at the same time for like our listeners and shit, but like also write questions, even though they didn't know that that was the only reason why. And so I could pause and write questions. But we've been fortunate enough to have a lot of our listeners send in questions of things that, you know, we have several who are really big fans of Schmoedown. Like we have a really, really good friend, Andy from Australia, who's going to be in town for the spectacular.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super fucking awesome. So like on top of me just like figuring out questions to ask based on bar trivia, and I watched every single Star Wars Schmoedown there is. So like I kind of know Schmoedown style-ish trivia. So like me making my own shit, but asking our listeners to do their own stuff. We've got a pretty good repertoire of what's possible and what to expect, I guess. And it's a lot of work. And even like some of the stuff I look up, like Wikipedia can be confusing versus watching the movies, and like what version you watch, it can be very confusing.
What's not, what's in the books.
Yeah. Yeah, or even just like what's in the cut. Like what is A New Hope? Like today on Amazon, if you have the theatrical release of A New Hope, what's the runtime? Well, that technically does not match up with the 77 runtime of A New Hope, even though it says it does. So Star Wars can get very, very confusing, and it's basically just a lot of work and a lot of shit to kind of sift through. So I kind of compile as much as I can, and then Laura goes through it, how she watched the movies, and makes corrections as needed because I'm not perfect. Surprise. And
Laura, get it together. You're correcting your manager. How dare you?
No, it is called for. It is more than called for, but I'm like, oh, did I fuck that up that bad? Whoops.
You know what? I'm an extremely casual Star Wars fan. I'm not deep into the lore or anything like that. So when it comes to canon, I feel like can be a very hard thing to navigate for someone who is not deep into it and someone who hasn't been following it for a little while. So I feel like that's a big thing for the trivia, because trivia wise, they basically just go off of canon. You can't ask non-canon questions. So it's I feel like it's great that you do that, and that's the whole point of a manager. This is amazing to hear because there's a lot of managerial talk in the Schmoedown, and Alyce, it seems like you're doing a great job as a manager. I'm gonna add her back right now. She's in there.
I'm gonna cry.
No, Alyce was amazing. It's just one of those things where it's when it comes to inner geekdom and when it comes to Star Wars, like, you know what to study. And I don't have any idea how any of the other leagues function or how you study or what the managers do at all. Like, it just seems impossible when you don't know exactly what you're supposed to be studying. Like, I have all the material laid out for me. It's exactly 11 movies, and I know what I need to go do. But I mean, how do you even study, prepare, coach, manage for the other leagues?
Exactly. Quick question from the chat. I know that you talked about it on your last podcast, on your last episode of your podcast, but any thoughts of an entrance for Spectacular?
Oh yeah, we have a plan.
Yeah, we have some thoughts. We're not gonna go into detail about it now, unfortunately. We'll just have to watch.
Right.
But yeah, we do have some ideas. It's sort of a play off of an idea that we had for the October Schmoedown that we didn't end up executing on. So it's going to be, I think, better played off in the live setting with the different sort of stage setup and stuff. So I think it'll be great.
Yeah, the closest we got were the nips of Fireball. But we've got several fun things planned
It'll
for
be on
these
brand.
spectacular entrants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be on brand. It'll be on brand. That's
Good.
for sure.
Speaking of Spectacular, since it is for a belt, there are 2 extra rounds. Are you guys preparing for those rounds? Getting ready to the betting and speed rounds?
Oh my gosh, the speed round.
Wait, I have them.
Yeah.
Trevor just said I'm stealing Jedi mind chicks. You better not. I'm gonna patent that shit, hooker.
Featured Presentations Productions. First time that I've ever seen you inside of a call to action stream. So welcome. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do not appreciate you stealing things.
Don't nick it. Yeah, our last episode we practiced with buzzers and we had Laura's sister come read. This coming episode, I think we're gonna record it this weekend. I'll probably have my neighbor come down and read. But I bought a 4-pack of buzzers, which none of them came with batteries. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
That's the worst.
I know, right? None of them came with batteries. It was like for ages 3 and up. You know, and they all had different noises, and the noises didn't match the colors that it said it would. So I'm really excited for the surprise noises of next episode. There's a honk honk. I don't remember what the other noise is.
I cannot wait for that next episode. It's gonna be great.
Pretty excited. I hope my neighbor's like down with the reading.
Hopefully we get some help. We put the call out there in our last episode we're like hoping that we can get some help from listeners with behind the scenes questions and the Clone Wars questions, just to like bring in a little bit of diversity in terms of the questions that Alyce has written or the questions that we can get from Trivial Pursuit. That's the call that we're going to put out closer to the date and have people email those to Alyce so that we can get a little bit of help and see what we can get out of that.
Yeah, we've been super lucky with like our listeners, and not just listeners, but friends. Really, like we have, I feel like a good community of people, and we all really have gotten to know each other and care about each other and things like that. Like we've got a really cool group. Oh my God, Laura, really? Do it again. Yes.
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah, no, we've gotten like a really, really cool group of like hookers hanging out with us. It's great. I see Andy's in here.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Hey, Andy,
What is the name so I can make sure to point that out?
Hobbit Feed Andy.
how am I feeding it to you?
Successfully
Let's
controlled since their
Yeah.
Having a good community of, a good pod fam is so essential, obviously, to not only just the sanity of putting together a podcast, especially when you guys are far away from each other or different time zones or whatever the situation is. It's very needed, doing constant communication, but also to, especially in a project like this where you are actively working on supporting each other. And it's such a project that I don't know if I should call it a project, but I mean, it's something where it's so public.
Yeah.
It's so public. You guys are everywhere on YouTube. I mean, everywhere on Twitter and everything, so, and you're going to this live event. So many people are going to see exclusively because of you. So, I mean, there's so much, I imagine, pride that really comes from it. Being part of this and being like, you know what, this is my first time doing it, but it's going to be bad fucking ass. It's going to be amazing.
Holler.
I don't know if I've gotten to pride yet. It's mostly just like terror at this moment. So
Oh, you're good. Listen, I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I need to do. Joey's here too, it looks like.
got all of our friends here. It's fun.
But yeah, we're gonna know people. Laura's sister is coming with us, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. There's the whole meet and greet, like the hour and a half before everything starts. So that'll be interesting. We've met Alex and Molly Damon very briefly at Celebration, right, Laura?
Yeah, we ran into Alex at the 501st bash at the museum.
Yeah.
And we met Molly just before we went on stage. So yeah, that'll be fun. I've messaged back and forth a little bit with Alex, and he's been super nice and super supportive. So I'm trying I'm trying not to take that too personally, and hope he doesn't either, because homeboy's going down. So
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, snap.
Fired.
Heck
Yeah.
yes.
No,
I
the
think so
Damons
too.
are very nice.
The Damons do seem like very nice people. I do remember listening to your last podcast where you asked Molly Damon to basically queer eye you with fashion tips.
Yes, please. Molly, do my face.
Molly Damon, please go and just like Star Wars queer eye everyone. As a casual Star Wars fan, please deck me out in all of the Star Wars shit.
Right? She is beautiful and does beautiful makeup and beautiful hair, and she's so stylish. And I'm just like, oh my god, Molly Damon, like, please fix me. Like,
oh my goodness.
Look at me,
so nice.
fix me so I look like somewhat decent standing next to you. Obviously, I should not
Love
look
a
better
Molly
than
Damon.
you, because that would, who would do that? But like, make me look decent next to you. That would be awesome, and I like appreciate that is shit. Like, Jesus Christ.
She's a very nice girl.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you, Laura.
Yeah.
If, as a competitor, okay, obviously, Mandalorian, I hear, is like a kind of a popular, like, little miniseries show now, right? Ish.
Maybe a little.
Like it. Not too many people know about it, though, right? I see.
Yeah, maybe it's like the hottest thing out there right now. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe one or two people have seen it, but I know, like, especially I know it's happening with IG, and Star Wars. Sometimes it's the questions are so much harder every single fucking year, because I'm not sure if they're like running out of questions, but they have to go into make deeper dives into making new questions to make it that much harder for you guys. If there was, if the Star Wars League, they wanted to open into not only the Star Wars movies, they wanted to incorporate any of the shows, or also Mandalorian as well, that would be something you would be open to? Or are you more of like Star Wars movie only? Forget all the other stuff when it comes to prepping for this league.
No, definitely. I would definitely be down for. I mean, especially if they were keeping it to on screen only, and maybe not including like books and comics, because I don't necessarily keep up with every single Star Wars comic that comes out. I'm pretty selective in which ones I read, but I keep up with most of the canon novels. I love Star Wars Rebels. I think it would be hard to have to force myself to get on board with Star Wars Resistance. It's not really my bag, but I mean, I would definitely be open to it. If it became a thing, I would definitely have to study up for it. I have to put a lot of work into it. But honestly, I don't know if I don't see it happening. I think they're pretty committed to keeping it to movies, which is fine. Yeah. And I think that, I mean, I just don't see them running out of questions. There's just so much. There's so much content. And to be totally honest, and like they keep so many of the questions fairly surface level. We're not diving too deep into the visual areas. At least not. We are.
Well, yeah, to me, I'm not a huge Star Wars person. Like I'm like Danie. I'm very surface level. I enjoy it, but I'm not a huge fan diving deep into all the details. I enjoy it for what it is, for sure. So a lot of these questions, to me, they feel like a deep dive. So I'm completely amazed when you guys.
I've written so many questions that have not gone anywhere near what has been asked. Like this Iron Man match that we have playing right now is like child's play.
Well, there
was the things I've written.
The LAAT, like what does it stand for? I think it's low altitude assault transport. That's one of the harder ones that I think like you would have to have studied a visual dictionary or had to have gone on to Wikipedia to actual like ship names. But the thing is they don't do a ton of those. Those tend to be more like the 3 and 5 point questions. They tend to not necessarily be your standard first questions. So I mean, like I said, I think they're keeping it pretty surface level for the most part, which is fine. Especially, I can say this is fine because I've had 2 perfect first rounds. So so I'm not mad about it. But I think they're going to have to start digging more into like some of those visual dictionary things, which can be hard because the prequel era ones, there's non-canon things in there. So you have to be sort of careful where you're pulling questions from, I imagine.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
That's one thing I have noticed that's also personally for me would be confusing with the Star Wars belt is I love non-canon things as well, like Legends. I love the video games. Trying to keep that separate in your brain because you're like, oh yeah, this, and then it's not canon. It's not what they're referring to. Has that ever been a struggle at all while you're competing, or is it you're pretty good at just keeping with the canon things?
I'd like to say that it's not really an issue because I don't read Legends. I'm not a big, I probably won't ever read Legends just because I don't want to get that kind of stuff confused in my brain. And I'm a fairly new Star Wars fan still, so none of that is at the back or front of my brain anywhere at all. I will say that, the argument did come up in my last match of like, is something canon or is it from the movies? And, I never would have thought that would be such an issue. I never gave it a second thought at all as to who the person sitting next to Luke Skywalker is in the briefing room of A New Hope. I mean, it just never occurred to me that would have ever been. I forget that there are like different versions of the movie and there are people who saw it in 1977 and that but I don't know. Like, I'm not going to dig in too deep to that because I've sort of argued the point, I think, to this point where I'm not going to dive too deep anymore. But yeah, it's one of those things I imagine will keep coming up, depending on how they decide to write the questions. So, yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. So let me think of a question. For Spectacular, are you guys planning on just kind of going there for the event, or are you guys gonna hang out in LA for a little bit? Since you guys are coming from Chicago.
We're coming in on Thursday night, so I've got we'll be in Thursday night, and then we fly home on Sunday afternoon. So we won't be able to hang out too much, unfortunately. The last time we were in LA, the one thing we wanted to make sure we accomplished was the Scum and Villainy Cantina, which we did, and we had an absolute blast. I wouldn't be opposed to doing that again, but also open to other things. So if people want to send me like food recommendations, bar recommendations, I'm totally open.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that cheese dip and the ground beef.
God.
Any food recommendations is good as well, because I'm not from LA and we're going to be over there, and so we don't know where to go. So
When do you guys fly in? Are you getting in early to hang out?
we come in on Thursday, or at least most of us, and then stay until Tuesday. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, we'll be there for a little
Big
bit.
trip.
We're going to Galaxy's Edge while we're there. It's one thing we are making sure happens while we're there. So we get planned for it.
Nice.
I have not got to go yet.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right, let me see if there's any questions from the chat. Let's see.
Saw a Hera forever and love cheese dip. I love cheese dip too.
Oh.
That's why I love the Scum and Villainy cheese dip with ground beef.
I love cheese dip, but their cheese dip is not great.
We dipped a mozzarella stick in it to eat it. It was great.
Still did not improve it. It was not great. Alice and I have extremely different standards of what qualifies as good food.
Oh yeah, who's on which spectrum? So it's just you like really gourmet things and like that, or is it more you just like standard and the other one you just will eat pretty much anything?
Alice doesn't like any seasoning on her food, which is psychotic.
No, I do
no.
love seasoning. I just don't love salt.
Okay, that's mostly what seasoning is and what it's
It's
made
like
of.
the basic seasoning.
So weird to me. And I'm the type of person that like I don't like to go shopping. I don't like to spend money on clothes or hair or anything like that. I just want to spend money on like good meals and going to cool like new restaurants and bars and stuff in Chicago. And that's not Alice's bag at all. She like couldn't care less. So it's just a different sort of, I don't know.
I like Taco Bell.
I like Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, or you like Taco Bell?
I like Taco Bell with fire sauce.
Sure. I like Taco Bell too. The ones here in Chicago have booze at them, but they like lost their liquor license and they haven't gotten it back yet. So they're just regular Taco Bells again.
Oh man, I can't even imagine that. Like I'm in Utah, and even places you would think would be a bar don't have alcohol. So the idea of there being alcohol at a Taco Bell sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. They're called Taco Bell cantinas. They're a good time.
Ah, cool.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That's funny. My whole thing with LA is that, I feel like every single person told me, like, go out there and get tacos or go to this taco place or that taco place. It's got the best tacos. But I'm just like, listen, I can't risk getting any kind of like food poisoning or just any kind of like gastrointestinal distress when it comes to like, you have to be on stage in front of people. And I'm like, yeah, you just gotta feel safe there, I think.
All right, we do have a question from the chat. I can't click on it because I'm not hosting, but asking your guys' thoughts on the Mandalorian.
Ooh.
Go out.
Love.
I just want to confirm it's like people like it, right? It's like people watch it.
Yeah,
That's what people know about it, though, right?
people are for the most part very much enjoying it, I think. I liked it. I watched episodes 1 and 2 are the only ones out right now. Unless I'm not sure when episode 3 comes out. I've only seen 1 and 2. They're fun. I like the story a lot. I'm not going to say anything spoilery about it. I will say that I do find it kind of disappointing that there's like no women in it so far. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like that's really my only complaint. I imagine there will be women at some point because we know Gina Carano is a character, but until we see them, which is sort of unusual that we didn't see them in episodes 1 and 2. I guess I like it so far.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even notice no women, to be honest. It just didn't even occur to me. But I wish we had previews for the next episode because for some reason I had assumed that every episode would be like an hour long, and they're very short.
Yeah, they were.
And that's
maybe 40 minutes long, max.
Yeah, for some reason I thought an hour, and you know, for 8 episodes and over $100 million, for them to only be 30 to 40 minutes, like, that's insane to me. But I really thought we'd have like an hour long per episode. The amount of women in it didn't bother me, but I just like, excuse me, that's so gross. I have no idea where it's gonna go. The post about the Kaminoan symbol being on that Imperial Sinus officer's outfit or whatever just like confuses the shit out of me, and I'm like, oh my god, this could go so many directions and just be like so batshit crazy. I have no fucking clue. So I'm just like, I'm stoked to see where it goes, and like knowing that they're already filming a season 2, I'm just like, what?
Well, on that note, what's your favorite creature, like new creature that you've seen so far? And I feel like from what I've seen, only the first few episodes, I mean, I feel like everyone's only seen so far. I mean, do you have a favorite new creature, mannish person or not really that you've kind of seen so far that you're excited by?
I hate to say because I don't really want to spoil it for people. I don't know. I'm like, I feel like they're I don't know. I hate to like kick people out of your chat if they're like not wanting to hear Mandalorian spoilers. So I'm a little bit afraid to talk about it. But yeah, I mean, so far I will say the entire first episode in particular is just a feast for the eyes. For people who are original trilogy fans, it's just wild. Like how crazy, how many references, how many little like Easter eggs there are. Just every single scene, you have to pause and like, you know, capture every single one. So yeah, I think that's really exciting. There was a lot of stuff that we saw at Celebration, that we saw in previews, that we saw at different Mandalorian related panels that have happened since Celebration. So a lot of episode 1 wasn't very new. I did get a big kick out of the quacky monkey lizard on the roof. Oh yeah, something we'd seen before.
Yeah, one thing I noticed that I really love about the show too is the score. It's very different than what I was expecting it to be, but I feel like it fits the tone and vibe of the whole entire show so well that it's actually become one of my favorite parts of the show because I feel like it really sets the mood for what's happening on screen. So I'm enjoying that part.
It really is fantastic, and I only just learned today that the score of chapter 1, so the first episode, is on Spotify. That you can go sit and listen to the whole thing. I had no idea. I figured that they would just do like one full sort of like dump of the entire soundtrack of all of the episodes. So that was a nice surprise to see today. I'm excited to actually sit and go back and re-listen to it.
I'll have to check that out because
Here's a question from the chat really quickly from Malcolm. Did you all know that Andrew's entrance was pre-recorded, or was it a surprise when you watched the finished product?
I saw him hand it to somebody when we all first arrived. Andrew and his wife and Alice and I were all set to arrive around 9:30 that morning that we recorded the match. And he walked in and handed something off to somebody, and I was like, what the hell? Was I supposed to bring something with me? Like, shit, am I in trouble? But no, I didn't see the entrance until everybody else saw it. I saw it with the $3 Patreon people.
Yeah. I just remember him being like, "Oh yeah, you got what I sent you, right?" to Christian, and I was like, okay.
Something shady going on here or what?
There's something fancy that's nothing to do with me or Laura. So okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, let's get some questions from the chat. If you guys have any questions, send them in and we will make sure to get them on the screen and ask. So go ahead and get those in. Let's see.
Competitors and managers, they're just like you. Awkward moments. I love it.
Belford in the chat. We love a Belford here.
What?
Let's see if there's any other questions. Let's see.
Oh, I just realized, Laura, you and I have this. I have well, I'm not wearing that shirt, but I have that shirt.
Nice. Did you get it at ILM? Did you go to San Francisco?
Yeah, my husband's uncle works there, so he was able to get us like a bunch of stuff. He got me like a hat, that shirt. I almost got a zip up hoodie, but I felt like bad. I'm like, I can't really request like 30 things from him. I mean, I don't want to be that person, but I really want to.
That's funny. Yeah, my cousin's good friend from college is an animator at ILM. So whenever I'm in San Francisco, he gets me in for a little tour. But mostly, I just go to hit up the store. And yeah,
Right.
I think from The Last Jedi, they sent me the catalog, and it was kind of funny because somebody sent it to me before it was supposed to be sent out. So there was like stuff in it that I wasn't supposed to see. My cousin had to like reply to me and be like, "Oh shit, please don't tell anyone that I sent you this. Like, my bad." And I was like, it's all good.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, Dylan from the chat is, what's your top 3 Star Wars movies or flicks? What are your guys' top choices?
Are we all going or just us?
We can all go if you guys want to. Danie, do you have?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear you guys. Go ahead.
So my number one Star Wars movie, look, y'all, I'm not in this fandom. I'm as far removed as one can be. But if you talk to any regular person, I probably know more about Star Wars than a regular person. I do not know more than anyone else who's involved in the Schmoedown. Jedi, Empire, and Hope. Those are my top 3.
Okay.
Alex?
Acceptable.
Go next. Someone else.
Okay. Well, I'll go. My favorite is Empire, then New Hope, and then The Last Jedi. I loved The Last Jedi.
I love Jedi.
That's awesome. Mine is Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie. The Last Jedi is a close second.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have to maybe go. I feel like 3 through 5 tends to shift for me. I'll go Return of the Jedi for number 3.
Nice.
All right. Alice?
I'm going to be a huge point of contention here. Attack of the Clones,
Ooh.
Revenge of the Sith, and Rogue One.
Wow, some prequels there.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready to come in.
Huh?
What?
I didn't know that Rogue One was so high on your list.
Yeah, Rogue One is way up there for me.
I love it.
So I'm my prequel haters mug really does come in handy.
Side.
Let's see. My number 1 is Rogue One. Personal, as far as rewatchability. I mean, come on, it's great. Number 2 would have to be. It's definitely not Return of the Jedi.
I like it.
Oh gosh.
Nice decisions.
Maybe it's Empire Strikes Back. Maybe.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Okay, that's the second one. And third, okay, so I'm coming in hot as well with you, Alice. I would have to say it's Revenge of the Sith. Right age when it came out, and nothing but sentimental love for it. It's ridiculous, and I thought it was a good time, and I just watch it for shits and giggles now. But I mean, it's just I'm not watching it for
Ewan McGregor, he's beautiful.
Oh,
I honestly low-key think that
yes.
Obi-Wan
Ewan McGregor is beautiful.
could have gone together, if anything. Like
Yes.
that could have happened. Like
He's a beautiful man.
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, as Padme, I'd be like, hey,
Hey,
what's up, Ewan?
She did touch his thigh in the arena.
Right.
it makes more age sense, in my
It makes
opinion.
much more sense for them to be together.
Yeah, he
Right.
could do it. He's
That's a whole other episode right there.
a good age range. I have this vision in my head of Celebration next year that he'll be there for photo ops. and I can pop in with a bouquet and a big white dress and take pictures with him, like a family picture. And
like
send
traditional
that
wedding
to my
dress or like
family.
Padme wedding dress?
Huh?
Like traditional wedding dress or like Padme wedding dress?
No, like traditional.
Yes.
And like
Oh,
send it to my family for like Christmas cards so they all think I got married instead of being the old maid.
Yeah, Alyce, I'm gonna toast you. I'm gonna force toast you right now because
Thank you.
absolutely yes. That's amazing. That's such a great response.
That's my life goal is
Mm.
Ewan McGregor being
My life goal is just to take wedding
Danie.
pictures with people. That's it.
Basically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Any other questions in the chat?
We do have a favorite scoundrel character outside of Lando and Han.
Ooh, I'm going Hondo Onaka. I gotta go animation. Sorry. I know it's movies, but I'm gonna go Hondo.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice. Anyone else?
Alex, what would your response be?
Oh, fuck.
No pressure, but if you don't
Yeah,
answer,
my brain is
always
too
answer.
tired. I've been drinking so much wine and watching way too much RuPaul Drag Race that I'm just like, eh.
Mom's
Your priorities are on point, and I respect that.
I think she could be a close second for me.
Favorite Star Wars scene, movies, animated, etc.
Oh,
That's a hard one to narrow down.
no, that's easy. The Mustafar scene for Battle of the Heroes with Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yes.
You know, we're like, then you are lost. I failed you, Anakin. You were my brother. Like, that whole sequence to me just like brings me to fucking tears. Ewan McGregor is so good. Just like, you were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. And then watching Anakin just like burn and melt and shit, I was just like,
That's your favorite?
yeah.
Really?
I like grilled cheese. So yeah, it's such an emotional moment to me. Every time I watch it, I get upset.
It's Shakespeare in space.
It-
It is
very
Shakespeare in
upsetting.
space. You got weird, awkwardly young relationships. You've got weird mentor-mentee relationships.
It's a love triangle.
Yeah, it's just
very
Shakespeare.
sad.
Shakespeare on a lava field.
That's funny. I have to go. Okay, I'm having trouble trying to come up with a favorite scene. That's so crazy, though. I really do love the like sort of Force montage in The Last Jedi. It's one of those things that's just like they did such a cool thing, like explaining it in such a like visual way and like immersive way. It was so neat.
Agreed.
I also really love the Yoda line in The Last Jedi that about, you know, masters and failure, where he's talking to Luke. That whole scene, like the first time I saw it in theaters, I hate fuck is Yoda doing in this movie? This is like fan service. I hate it. And like for some reason, like the second time, it just like touched me, and I just loved it. So it's weird. There was a weird shift that happened in the 2 days that I went from seeing it the first and second time.
Quick question from the chat. What is your favorite non-Star Wars film? I'm going to answer that real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and say Beaches with Bette Midler and Barbara Hershey. That's it.
Good choice.
Fight Club.
Drop Dead Gorgeous.
I have choice words to say about Fight Club. What did you say, Laura? I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Drop Dead Gorgeous is my favorite.
I love that movie so much.
I love
Just so many good moments in that movie. So
Yeah.
good.
Indeed.
Those accents.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, Minnesota. Oh,
I think it's on Hulu now. Streaming on Hulu now, finally.
Is it? Oh, I gotta watch it.
That means you get it with Disney Plus, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
How many cats is too many cats?
Mhm.
We haven't answered all the movie questions.
Oh, answer all your movie questions before we go to the cat question.
First of all, rude. Very rude.
She's super excited about the cat question.
Blame the White Claw.
Alyce, what's your favorite non-Star Wars movie?
It depends on whether or not I'm drinking.
Alice and Alex do sound the
It
same.
does sound similar.
They
So
do.
if I'm drinking, it's Heather's. Like we were kind of talking about earlier. Heather's. I'm just like, this is like 1993, like 80s ridiculousness. This is Mean Girls before Mean Girls. I love that movie, and I even love the musical even more. But probably my favorite movie of all time would have to be, if I'm not drinking, would be Alien.
Very good choice.
I love me some Ripley. What can I say?
I think I'd go with Moulin Rouge.
I love you. That's good.
Good, very good choice.
Very solid choice.
Alice, I have fallen in love with you so much. through this.
Oh, thank you. You want to know the worst part about Moulin Rouge is I had no idea she died at the end.
Oh,
I put the video in the I had one of those like VCR TVs that were connected,
Mhm.
and I put it in and pressed play. I went and brushed my teeth to like miss all the previews, and I missed the part at the beginning where he said she died. So I didn't know she died at the end until the end.
Oh no.
Wait, do you like the soundtrack?
Love it.
I still listen to the soundtrack. It's great.
it's a
There's
great
a musical about it that's coming out.
Yes.
Alice,
All right.
karaoke the soundtrack.
Okay, Jonathan Peck in the chat. What's the most underrated Star Wars action sequence?
Do I have to stick with movies?
No, go for it.
Okay, there's a duel between Pre Vizsla, who's voiced by Jon Favreau, and Maul in the Clone Wars, and I couldn't tell you which season, but it's the season where like Maul is taking over Mandalore as the ruler, and he straight up like it's the most epic, crazy well choreographed lightsaber battle I've ever seen. Like it surpasses, I think, everything in the movies. Because I don't particularly care for Revenge of the Sith. Just it's just a really, really well done action scene, and it ends with Pre Vizsla getting beheaded, which is just fucking crazy for like a kid show. Like it's this animated series. It's awesome. It's totally worth checking out. Go to YouTube and just look up Pre Vizsla versus Darth Maul. It's an amazing action sequence.
I think you misspoke Duel of the Fates, actually. I digress.
That's not underrated.
I was gonna say, yeah, there you go. That's the other thing with the Revenge of the Sith duel. That's by far not underrated, I don't think.
That song, I listen to it when I work out till this day.
Pumps you up.
Oh, it like suddenly I'm on the treadmill and I'm like da 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 da. And I'm like, it's only another 5 minutes. Da 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 da. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Here's a question from Garth. Garth is a question. With the special editions and other editions continuing to change around scenes in the movies, McClunkly, does that make it harder to study the details in those scenes? That's a great question for being a competitor in the Star Wars division.
That is a good one. It hasn't for me. It hasn't made it any different, to be honest. I never saw the original like cut of any of the movies. I've only ever seen special editions. So, and that's all I am gonna study. So if somebody wants to call me for being wrong on something, they're gonna get a challenge like straight to the face. So
okay, I do want to say something really quickly. So in prep for this whole match, I went back and I watched both of your matches with Andrew Demalante and in the Chicago Spectacular, Star Wars Spectacular. Dude, Star Wars Spectacular, you got one question wrong. One. Same thing with Andrew's match. There was the difference between it was a one wrong answer. So in your match at the Chicago Spectacular, holy moly. So every question, I have it written down because I think it's so important. So every question that you were asked was a Star Wars question. The only question that you got wrong was how many Star Wars directors had a cameo inside of the movies. And that's not technically a question about the movies. It's a trivia question about the series. So I completely understand how you got that wrong, but you had every single question right. You completely earned the number one contenders position for the Star Wars match. Laura Kelly, I love that I don't know anything about Star Wars, but you have dominated in this league so far, in my own opinion. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Hot take if you want it. Blah, blah, blah.
Making me blush. My goodness.
Girl, one question wrong.
Yeah, there was a hard one, and it was a very stupid answer I gave in front of a lot of people, and it's one of those things where like you suddenly don't know a question, and you're like, it's like being a deer in headlights. It was awful. But yeah, the behind the scenes stuff is hard, and that's gonna take down people fairly often. I think it's always gonna be the killer. So it's one of those things that I've tried to study up on, and then it didn't come up in my match in October, which is so annoying, but that's okay. But yeah, the behind the scenes stuff is hard. And I know I missed a couple of opportunities to steal, and that took me out of the game a little bit too. But yeah, that was a matter of me not really going in as prepared as I should have been in terms of how to play the game. So I made sure I was ready for this last one.
I don't necessarily feel like that's a question that most people would think to study.
No, and it's one that I could have given a better answer. I could have guessed better, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. There you go.
Well, yeah, seriously, coulda, shoulda, woulda. But like at the end of the day, all of the questions asked about Star Wars, the movies, you got right. Mm-hmm. All of them.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, no.
With the Andrew Demolante match, it came down to Andrew answering his question wrong, and you getting most of your questions right.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, his 5-pointer was a killer. That was intense. The Clone Wars. Oh yeah.
Well, so were there any questions that he was asked that he answered that you didn't know? If you don't mind me asking.
I want to say there maybe was one. The thing is I only watched the match once, and I probably won't watch it again just because I find it like just excruciating having to like watch myself. So yeah. I don't have a really clear memory of it. I did not know his last question, so if that had come down to it, I wouldn't have known. The only round where I would have had the opportunity to steal, I did know all of his answers. And I was ready to steal, and then I found it sort of weird that they took the whiteboards away, because I would have been more. I think I would have felt better and had like my sort of security blanket if I could have been writing my answer the whole time. But yeah, no, I was ready to steal, and then the opportunity didn't present itself because he knew everything. So there you go.
Yeah. There's a question in the chat. Favorite lightsaber color? Mine is green. It's just my favorite color.
Or hitting questions right there. Yeah.
It's the important ones, right?
Or purple because of Samuel L. Jackson. That's all.
Isn't that the only reason why they included the purple one? Because he was like, yo, I like purple. I want a purple one. And he's like, okay.
Is that true? Laura, Alyce?
I think he just said, I want something different. He's like, I want to be a Jedi. I want to be, in the movie, but I want my lightsaber to just be something different. I don't know. I don't remember if he specified whether or not he wanted it to be purple or
Didn't it have like badass motherfucker written on it?
Maybe.
Like engraved on it?
Harry Jackson.
That would sound like something that he would ask.
Yeah. If it didn't, it should.
Yeah.
Something along those lines, I'm pretty sure, is engraved upon.
No, seriously.
Mace Windu saber.
Yeah, mine. I loved the Ahsoka novel, and just hearing about why her lightsabers were white. I think that's really cool. So,
I have not read anything on that, and I would love to get to that at some point.
I loved that book
because Ahsoka Tano is someone who, like, as the casual Star Wars fan, I've only heard about her and other things. so I don't know the character very well. I have read Ken Napsaw's book, and there is one particular chapter where it's Ahsoka Tano with Anakin Skywalker and their dynamic, and that makes me super interested in it. So my question, before we get to chat questions, Laura and Alyce, have you read Ken Napsaw's book, Why We Love Star Wars?
I've read part of it. I own it. I just haven't read all of it. It's one of those things where there's so many Star Wars books coming out all the time. We try to stay on top of it that it's really hard to like juggle in anything else in terms of reading. At least for me, some people can read multiple books at one time, and I'm not one of those people. So I struggle a little bit just trying to keep up with the Star Wars canon. But I did start it, and I read Joseph Scrimshaw wrote a really, really beautiful introduction to it. That like made me cry on public transportation. It was really, really fun. I loved it. But I have not, I haven't finished reading it. It's in my Kindle. I'll read it someday. Just I haven't gotten to it yet.
It's I do want to ask a question. I like to ask this for a lot of creators. You both love Star Wars. You do this for fun. You do this for work, for this. I mean, it's a career being a part of this community. With that being said, what do you do to get away from it if necessary? If you just need a mental break and you're like, I just need to take a step back and do something else that's not Star Wars related. What do you like to do for fun? Other than drink.
Okay. I love binge watching TV. My latest kick has been RuPaul's Drag Race. I am obsessed with it. I also really like doing Pilates in my spare time. I did instructor courses a few years ago and then just never finished the class. So no, I'm just taking lessons and it's fun. Cake decorating is another thing I like doing. It's very bizarre, but another adult learning. Anytime you say adult learning, it makes you sound really old, right?
Yeah.
I
hate it, but yes.
Yeah. So things like that I enjoy, and I'm very, very good at binge watching TV shows, but as of late, RuPaul, Pilates, and cake decorating have been my non-Star Wars outlets.
All at the same time? Like Pilates while marathoning, RuPaul?
All at the same time,
like with the other hand, like casually like putting on the frosting on like
I'm just like a Jill of all trades. I do everything at once.
That's my girl right there.
That's a manager.
Yep.
Manager right over there.
Yep.
That's amazing.
And Laura, what
about you, Laura? Yeah.
I get into, I mean, I'm not as big onto the binge watching of TV. I did watch a lot of Downton Abbey for some reason while I was studying for the last match. I just I wanted to see the movie. I was kind of excited for it. So I was like, oh, I'll just sit and rewatch the show. And it was sort of my escape anytime I just got sick of reading about Star Wars and studying Star Wars. That was my go-to, was I would just turn on Downton Abbey and watch that instead. But I'm not as big of a TV watcher. I kind of talked about food, wine, restaurants. That's kind of my jam. I do yoga, and that's all sort of my escape. It's mostly travel and every now and then, and food and restaurants.
That's how you get that mad yoga strength.
Yeah, holding up my own body weight. I can plank like a motherfucker.
There you go. If you're actually practicing for practicing with lightsabers, that's it. Lightsabers are not light.
I always have kind of thought of it as it really does kind of feel like Jedi training sometimes. There's things that they talk about in the philosophy of the Force that apply very much to the art of practicing yoga. So it is kind of it still connects to Star Wars, even though it's supposed to be kind of my escape from Star Wars. It's fun, but it keeps me in shape, keeps me from not being depressed. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yoga is amazing. So absolutely.
We had a quick question from Danie. Heather's a jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker.
100%.
I
First of all, how dare you guys?
understand the question.
I don't know.
Heartbreakers, Rose
I'm-
McGowan.
I love
yeah.
Heartbreakers.
Legit.
I
Heathers.
like music too.
I love Heathers. I think Heathers is a great musical and a great movie, and it's a great 80s movie. But me personally, because of where I was in my life, and all of that good shit, Jawbreakers gets it.
No, never been so disappointed in you.
Yeah, I love you. I'm sorry.
Do you though? Do you?
I'm sorry, not sorry. Laura, do you think you will ever compete in IG or singles?
Singles has to be out. There's no way that my movie knowledge goes that deep. I'm very singularly focused on Star Wars. Inner geekdom, I'm missing Star Trek and Lord of the Rings. Those are not my. I don't have any knowledge of either of those movies. And really, don't have a ton of DC knowledge either. So I would kill it at Harry Potter. If it was Inner Geekdom, if it was just Harry Potter and Star Wars, but that's not the case. And there you go. I did play one time on a Marvel trivia. It was an MCU specific trivia night, and my team won, but not because of me. I had two players that were really good, but I did get the last question right. That got us over the finish line, and I don't even remember what it was now. It was the name of the guy that's in Iron Man at the beginning of the movie with Robert Danie, and they're in the cave. It's whatever that doctor, scientist, whatever that dude's name is, because I don't remember it now. But yeah, that was the trivia question.
This is my favorite question in the chat right now. I'm so sorry, but I'm eating cheese and grapes right now. What are your favorite cheeses? Mine is Munster. I know I'm super basic about it, but Munster cheese is my favorite cheese.
No judgment. I like a good Munster. I'm all about a good Gouda. I like a good mustard seed Gouda. There you go.
Gouda is a great cheese. If anyone says blue cheese, boo.
Manchego.
Manchego's a good one too.
Alyce, you and I are cheese twinsies. Yes.
No.
Let's take on Hamon. Yes.
I like it.
All right. Well, I think we're getting close to being ready to wrap up. We do have somebody that we want to bring on just for a sec. That his name is Brian, and he actually, as he can talk about a little bit more, has made us a new intro song, and he just would like to come on and talk about it a little bit, and I'd like to have him on.
Fun.
Hey.
What's
Hi.
going on? What's going on?
Hi, Brian.
It was a really good show tonight. Blue cheese.
Sucks.
I had to get that out of the way.
That's right. It's nasty.
No. Anything blue cheese, just no.
It's fine in a salad. It's not fine by itself.
No.
No, not even that. It's good it's fine with wings, but that's it.
Ish.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's really disgusting. Brian, thank you so much for doing this for us. Oh my gosh. Can't thank you enough for putting together this song for us. We can't thank you enough.
I mean, it was something that honestly I was really thinking about doing this whole, jazzy, kind of song or whatever, but then just getting to know everybody's personalities and all stuff, just watching every single episode, you get to see everybody's personality differently. So I was I just wanted to make something that's edgy, that's pretty much gonna be a banger and all stuff. And at the same time, I just wanted it to be something that's just gonna be memorable. So I do have a clip which I'm gonna be putting in the chat right now. So
everyone, please listen to it. Brian is a fantastic DJ out in Miami. Miami's a pretty cool place, so I've been told, I guess.
Okay. There's different parts of Miami that's cool. There's different parts of Miami that's
Well, do you know
But-
what? Jen Sturger was in Chill to Action yesterday. She's from Miami, and she has mentioned that before about Miami being a weird place.
Mhm.
So
It is. It's yeah. There's like different. I'm gonna go a little bit over here. There's a bunch of different people, like places in Miami where you'll see a bunch of crackheads and all stuff. No lie.
I mean, that's
No.
with any city, I guess, right? There,
I'll figure maybe.
There's a lot in Utah too.
Sure.
Hmm.
for sure.
Hmm.
Was Brian, just kind of tie into Star Wars and to the ladies here. If you were to make a theme song, you know, for any Star Wars character, who would you like to play it for? Create one for.
I know one for sure.
One character that you feel
definitely.
like one needs a cool.
Definitely Darth Maul.
Maul.
Definitely Darth Maul.
Laura, Alice, what do you guys think about that? Do you
I
think
like
that's
it.
awesome?
That's
I mean-
amazing. Do it. Do it. Like, write it. Let's hear it. Not right
There-
now. Take your time. Yeah.
No, I there's just something about Darth Maul that's just like he's like very quiet and all that stuff, and whenever he just like he does anything like action wise, it's like, dude, I have to write out something that's like specifically about Darth Maul, because there's a lot of different things that you can point out about Darth Maul. So
He's like Cher, but Star Wars.
Share? Like share?
Cher.
Like share?
Cher, like she's never gonna fucking die. She's always
Oh.
around. But Star Wars.
I was
love
like, I mean, share?
Oh my god.
I can back that.
Yep.
I'll agree on that. That's yeah.
He's the Cher of Star Wars, yeah.
I have to go back to this because goat cheese is good.
Mm,
Goat cheese is great.
Goat cheese is good.
best on crackers. Well,
Very nice.
Mm.
Well, we definitely, yeah.
Mm.
Well, we definitely
Um,
appreciate you making the song for us. It will premiere on our next episode. We're hoping to get it done tonight, but it's just trying to do the intro takes a little bit.
Tech is hard. I'm sorry.
I will also say this: there's an official announcement that I can say when like the actual full song will be coming out. It is going to be coming out in December.
Woo!
Yay.
So, yep, the full song will be coming out in December. So the clip that I have there, that will be the intro and all stuff. So once you hear like the actual full song,
Mhm.
you're gonna be crying a little bit, but it's still like one of my personal favorite songs that I've ever made. So
Mhm.
I cry all the time. Just a heads up.
Yeah, last
Perfect
ladies' night we
card.
just kind of started crying just because.
Commercial for cable.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. And Brian, plug where people can find you so they can follow you and your music.
right there, DJ Brian, Twitter, Instagram. I put up the clip on my Instagram story and all that stuff, which it has a link to my SoundCloud. Click on there, you can listen to it. It's also on my Twitter. So yeah, right there. DJ Brian, Twitter, Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian. We're gonna let you go from the stream. We
No
really
problem.
appreciate it. We love that ladies' night music. Woo woo.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
thank you so much, Alice and Laura, for coming on today. We really appreciate it. We love watching you in Schmoedown. Love listening to your podcast. Can't wait for Spectacular. Just counting down the days. Where can people find you guys?
Thanks
We are
for
also
having us.
excited for all of those things. Yay. That's me. Shut_up_Laura. I'm on Twitter and Instagram there. Our show is at Force Toast Pod. That's like Force Ghost, but Force Toast. So you can find us on Twitter and Instagram there as well. Our website is www.forcetoastpod.com.
Perfect. And Alice, where can people find you?
I am at Slaya all day. That's Leia with an S. All day. And then everything I post is pretty much related to Force Toast because I am social media stupid, so it is all Star Wars and Force Toast related, unless Laura tells me otherwise.
All right. And you mentioned you'd like fans to send you guys questions. Where's the best place they can send them to you so you can use them for studying?
Ooh, the best place is to send them to Alyce. So send them to her on DM on Twitter. Don't send them to Force Toast because I mostly run that account, so I'll see it. The idea is to hopefully quiz me. So yeah, send those to Alyce. She's at Slaya all day. Or you can send them to Alice's Force Toast email, which is alice@forcetoastpod.com. She'll get them there too.
Alice with a Y.
Perfect. Thank you. And Alex, where can people find you?
You know me. I'm everywhere on Twitter. I do run the Call to Action podcast on Twitter panel, and I'm on Facebook. And definitely check out our Instagram and our Call to Action page on Facebook. That would be amazing. Tomorrow, I'm going to be hosting my 3rd episode of Schmoedown. And it's going to be pretty amazing. Actually, Brian is actually going to be co-hosting with me, which is going to be pretty amazing. But yeah, it's going to be a little more focused on Thanksgiving. It's going to be a little bit weirder. And especially with Spectacular coming up, we're going to get creative. So
Fun. And Danie, where can people find you?
Y'all know where to find me. I'm here all the damn time. You can find me next Monday on Chill to Action with my favorite co-host, Mr. Paul Denuzio. For Mark Riley, we have Mark Riley coming on Monday. So y'all make sure that y'all check that out. You can find me on Twitter at Danie Joy with 2 E's right there. Follow all of that good stuff. Please make sure that you subscribe to this channel, to the Call to Action channel. We're definitely trying to get to those 1,000 subscribers. We genuinely appreciate every single one of y'all coming in every week. We love all of the love that we've been getting for this podcast, for this channel, all of that good stuff. So please make sure you check out, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell, all of that nonsense. Hey.
And I am Kelsey. You can find me at KelseyKins90 on Twitter and Instagram. Also, I run the TeePublic. We have merch. We have a really nice looking Chill to Action shirt that just came out. Plus, Ladies Night has its shirt. So definitely, yeah, check it out. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for coming on. And I hope you guys had a good time on Ladies Night. I know we sure did. And we will see you guys next time.
thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye. And now it's always awkward. Will it